Warm greetings from the High 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans on this Sunday, February 9th. I want to shoot straight from the hip to some of you guys today. I want to thank you for joining me. I had something on my mind and I just thought I'd share it with you guys. I've come to learn that sometimes you can't share, personal details with people. You can't talk about certain things with people. You cannot listen to webs that people spin to you, because you see, sometimes the things that people tell you are not the spoken word. They are not the truth. And you want to believe a person when they talk to you. You want to believe what they're saying to you is the truth. But I have come to learn in these short 49 years I've been above this ground that sometimes people whine and cry about things that is BS. That they have put themselves in a situation to be crying and whining, but they don't want you to say anything about what web they've spun. And I think that if you're the type of person that you don't like to get feedback from things that are coming out of your own mouth, then you shouldn't speak those things. Don't talk about it. Don't share it with people. I've learned we all are human. We are all different. We have different temperaments. Some of us are critical, judgmental. Some of us shoot straight from the hip. Some of you are mild-mannered. Everyone is different, but you have to know what you can share with people and what you can't. You have to also know that when you share something, you'll possibly get feedback. Some people are listeners. Some people comment. And I've come to realize that no one wants to share something with a person and then they use it against them in a later conversation that had nothing to do with what they're currently talking about. Some people are like that. Maybe some of you are like that. That people can't talk to you about anything. You'll hold it against them in the next conversation and bring up something that they said or did, but it has nothing really to do with what you're talking about at the current moment. I don't think that's right, and you shouldn't do people like that, because it's not right. It's not fair. And as I state, we are all judgmental at some point in life. Some of us, let's say. But you don't want people throwing stones at you, because really, sometimes people throw stones at you in a conversation when they're really talking about themselves, because things that they've done in their past is coming to fruition. And now they want to judge you on something you may have, revealed in a conversation previously. And they're thinking back to something they've done, and now they're realizing, wow, well, let me say to this person, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, when really, it has no relevance to the current conversation. They're thinking about something they've done, and now they throw daggers. So you have to be very careful what you reveal to people, what you tell to people. Even if it's something very mundane in conversation, you have to be careful what you reveal to people, because they can use it against you in the next time that you two talk. I also have come to realize people cry about things that they put themselves in, that maybe they're the cause or some of the cause of the problems that they're currently having. And they whine and they moan, but yet they don't want to hear anything. And as I stated before, then don't talk about anything. You don't want feedback, you don't want commentary, then don't talk about your personal problems. And maybe you should tell a person, I just need an ear, but I don't want you to say anything. I don't want you to comment. I just realized, and I've known this, of course, most of my life, that you have to be careful listening to other people's problems, because 9 times out of 10, they really don't want your opinion. They don't want you giving positive feedback, negative feedback. You could think you're giving constructive criticism. Everyone's delivery isn't the same. So they may get offended by what you're saying, and you may actually be telling them the truth about what you're saying. But they really don't want to hear it. They don't want the feedback. So they shuck you off. Hand movements like, I don't want to hear that. So it's kind of like, well, you know what? I didn't send for you anyway. So you shouldn't be bringing your problems to my doorstep. And what I'm trying to say to some of you is that you can be too nice to people by listening to their personal problems and realize that things that they're telling you are not adding up. There isn't any truth to some of the things that they're telling you. And so you inquire. Why wouldn't you? They're bringing it to you. So we're at that point now, I can't ask you anything. And I think you have your answer that whatever they've been telling you is not the whole truth. Because when a person becomes defensive in information that they've brought to you, and they're now upset that you're asking them about what they're saying to you at that moment, that should tell you that they're not being truthful with you. And who wants to talk to someone who's lying? And I understand sometimes people don't want to reveal everything about themselves. But that goes back to what I said about maybe you should keep your problems to yourself. Because if you don't want to reveal what's really going on in your life, and you only want to spoon feed a person stuff, stop talking about your problems. Keep them to yourself. Take them to the Lord. He listens to everything. And He's non-judgmental. That's who you should take your problems to. Take them to the Lord. Sometimes it's good to take your problems to regular people, because they will be judgmental. Some of us will be judgmental, and we will definitely be judgmental if we don't believe what you're saying, or something is not right with what you're saying, something is missing from what you're saying. Then yeah, it's going to be a problem, a malfunction. And I think a lot of people use people to whine and cry about their problems. But in the end, they have no remorse for whatever the hell is really going on in their life. They're probably the problem of what's going on in their life. They're the culprit in what's going on in their life. And they want somebody to blame. And as soon as they spin that web to you and they see that you're not buying what they've been telling you, and you're questioning what they've been telling you, now it's a problem. It's a malfunction. So as I state, sometimes it's best to just zone out. Play crazy. Act like you don't care about what they're saying. And possibly you don't. I mean, there are some of you out there, are cold. You don't give a damn about nobody. You ain't trying to hear nobody's problems. You don't let people bring their problems to you. And I'm learning now it's best to stop inquiring to people who have a lot going on, people who take on a lot of other people's problems, situations, be it their own issues, other people's. Sometimes it's best don't even ask. If you hear a sigh in their voice, don't even inquire what's wrong, what's the matter. Change the subject, talk about something else, because you probably already know it's going to be something crazy coming along. And do you really want to ride the ride? And also, stop telling people things about your personal business. If you don't want to get feedback that you may deem critical, not helpful, or you just don't want to hear it. You see, I'm still learning at this age that sometimes being nice ain't hitting on nothing. And being a shoulder sometimes is a burden, and it can cost your own head to spin when it doesn't have a need to be spinning, because you're trying to be a friend, you're trying to be helpful. And I tell you another thing I don't like, cutting people off when they're trying to make a point on something you said. You don't cut people off in a conversation on a web you're spinning. And as I state, that lets you know you need to quit talking to that person altogether. Just keeping it 100. Because today I'm shooting straight from the hip that this being nice to people, listening to their problems, can become a burden. They can become rude with you. And it's all for what? It's a mess that they got themselves in. And as they spin the web, they start revealing things to you because you're asking about what they're talking about. Doesn't make any sense. And then they start confiding in stuff that you realize, you know what? You got a lot going on. And possibly these problems you're talking about are things that you brought on yourself for whatever reason. And now you want to get angry because somebody's just asking you about what you're talking about. So that means keep your problems to yourself. Stop being nice to people, listening to their problems, and keep some of your issues that you're having to yourself. And that way they don't throw them back in your face because they're mad at the world and got issues. And they realize that stuff they've done in their past has come back to fruition and come back to haunt them and bite them in the tail. And now anything the world has to say, they have to throw their judgment in because they know they've done wrong and done some seedy stuff possibly. And now they want everybody else to really feel the same. But see, people can't feel the same because, one, they don't even know what you're talking about. They don't understand what you're talking about. And they realize things you're telling aren't the truth. So how can they empathize with you when they don't even know who the hell they're talking to? A relative once said to me years back, just because a person spins a web to you doesn't mean they want your feedback. And I told that person, you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. And I also say to that they need to keep their damn business to their damn selves. And they won't get no feedback. they won't get feedback at all. Thanks for joining me. You all have a wonderful Sunday. I'll be back with another update, more information, more crazy shenanigans and buffoonery. You know it's the Queen. Happy Sunday to all of you. Thanks for joining me, and like and share. Drop your comments below. Bye-bye.